Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It is Saturday the 6th of October. Therefore, to all my Seventh-day Adventist friends watching, to all my Jewish friends and my Seventh-day Anglicans, and if you worship on Saturday, a very happy Sabbath to you. And if you're not of any of those faiths, then a pleasant and a blessed day to you. Thanks for joining, and I hope you stay tuned for this discussion.
Unhappy. That's what it says in Proverbs. When you walk with wise men, you will become wise. Take a look at your friends. That's what you're going to be like in a few years. If your friends are winners, leaders, givers, successful, if they have a spirit of excellence, integrity, positive, motivated, then those good qualities are going to rub off on you. When you're with them, you're investing your time. They're making you better. But if you hang out with people that are sloppy, undisciplined, unmotivated, not going anywhere, let me give you some great advice. Find some new friends. You cannot become who God created you to be hanging out with them. And they may be a good person. They may have a good heart, but your destiny is too great. Your assignment too important. Your time too valuable to let them drag you down. And some people, the only thing that's keeping them from a new level of their destiny is wrong friendships. You cannot hang out with chickens and expect to soar like an eagle. You don't have to.
Before we jump into our discussion, I just want you guys to bow your heads with me. I want to say a word of prayer. So, yeah. Dear most kind of Heavenly Father, as we come to you today, God, we just want to thank you firstly for everything you've done for us. Thank you so much for being an awesome God. Thank you for waking me up, for waking us up this morning, God. Thank you for the things that we take for granted, God. Being able to breathe, being able to, just communicate, being able to see, things that we wake up and we don't expect, God. We want to tell you today that we appreciate you, and we appreciate all that you're doing for us, for protecting us through the night and everything that you continue to do for us, God. Thank you so much. I ask that today our discussion may be led in the way that you want it to be led, God. I ask that you use me as an instrument for you to just spread your word, God, and help that whoever is watching may understand what I'm saying, God. Please let this not be for me, but for you, God. And I pray that this message goes to whoever needs to hear, and whoever needs to hear this word from you, God. I pray that it is shared and it may bless somebody today. Thank you for everything again, and please be with us as we discuss now. In your holy and precious name, amen. All right, guys, so let's jump into it. I don't know about you, right? But I can speak for myself. Like, I'm one of those persons who, on the uncertainty avoidance scale, I'll be quite high. Like, I try to avoid uncertainties in everything. I'd rather know that if I do A, then B has to follow. I don't want to, have to jump out on a leap of faith or have to, no, I'm not one of those people who deal well with the uncertainties and not knowing, and I try to understand. I always question why, and because of that, I find myself always in a pensive mood and always like trying to understand things that I necessarily can't understand, or try to put answers to things that I cannot necessarily always find answers to. But if you're definitely like me, if you're one of those persons who try to think about everything and always have a reason behind why everything happens, then hey guys, today we're gonna have a very good discussion. I need you to leave your comments below. Unfortunately, I can't hear your views otherwise, so yeah, leave your comments below and let me know. But yeah, so today's topic is if you don't understand or when you're uncertain, just trust God and do good. And it's not just trust God and do good. I know I just said it, but it's often very hard to just trust God. So we're gonna delve into that today and stuff. So the Bible verse I wanted us to focus on today is 1 Corinthians 13, 9 to 10 and 12 to 13. And I have it here. Let me just read it for you. So 1 Corinthians 9 and 10. And it says, "For we know in part, and we prophesy in part. But when that which is perfect is come, then that which is in part shall be done away with." So right now, it's saying like, right now we know in part and we prophesy in part, right? But when that which is come, when that which is perfect is come, then what is in part will be done away with. So basically, when God comes, that everything that we know in part now will be done away with, so we will know the full thing. But just before we get here, we just want to reiterate that faith and trust does not come if there's no uncertainty. Like there needs to be something that you're not sure of. Because if we were sure of every single thing, I would not need to trust. I would know what's gonna happen. I would know every single thing that's set up on my life. For example, like say I go out, right? And I say I'm gonna trust God today to carry me out. If I already knew that in the event and I'm gonna come back, I'm gonna be safe, or if I knew exactly what's gonna happen, I would not need God. I would not need to trust God because I would have already known everything. So for us to trust, guys, there must be some uncertainty, something that we're not sure of, to have that faith and that trust in God. You get what I mean? All right. So discussion. Are you one of those people who just worry so much about everything that like people say about you or people do to you and stuff, and you try to understand every single thing that happens in your life, and we just be like, why this happens or why that happened, and you're just not always certain. You just don't always know, and you even though you try to put like if you're like me, you'll try to analyze every single thing, and I try to put a reason behind it and say, okay, this happened because this. And even when you do that, you find that sometimes it's not always the truth. Then it's in those moments, especially, that you need to trust God. It's in those moments that you need to say, you know what, God, I don't understand why this happened, but I'm going to trust you. I'm going to do good. And sometimes for you to trust God and do good, like you need to go through a period of shaking up. Right? And when I say shaking up, I don't mean I mean like your entire life needs to go through, like God needs to shake up something in your entire life for it to go wrong, and that process might be very painful. So for you to come to a level where you can trust God and fully believe in Him, God might take away some people in your life that that He realized that, you know what, for you to reach this place, you need to let some things go. And it's in that moment, we won't necessarily understand why God did this away. Like, say for example, you have some friends, and for you to reach a certain place, God removes some of the friends in your life, and those are some people that you at the moment you may not want to lose. Like, you may not understand why has that happened, and you may sit down, you may cry, and you don't understand it because you're not seeing the full picture. And as I've read in 1 Corinthians 13:9 and 10, where it said, for now we prophesy in part, guys. So now we know in part. So right now my part is, I used to be one of the closest friends with her, and I don't understand why she's no longer my friend. And it might hurt, and you're gonna get heartbroken. But then later on down the line, you look back, and like when you lost that person or that's a friend or whatever, you look back and then you start hearing things that you didn't know. So because in the moment, like before when you just lost them, you didn't know everything. But then after you've lost them, you're hearing that person used to say bad things about you, or you learn now that a person coveted something that you had, or that person, was not that person who you thought it was. So then you can look back and be like, oh, well, thank God that happened. So it's in that moment when you're not knowing the entire picture that you need to trust God. You need to just say, you know what, God, I don't understand why this happened. I don't understand why this person died, or I don't understand why you allowed that to happen, God. Or I've been a good person, yet still you let me meet an accident last Friday, or you let me catch this disease, or I'm here praying to people and blessing people for you, and still you gave me this disease. And it's just all comes back to, in that moment you need to understand that you're not seeing the entire picture, but you need to focus on God and knowing that He will come through for you. Because you know what, if we even look back into the Bible as well, when Jesus was on the cross, when Jesus was in His human form and we came down to earth and He was dying for us, on that cross, like he asked God why. He said, Father, why hast thou forsaken me? So it goes to show that Jesus, even in His human form, still was not seeing the full picture. He was not given the full picture, the whole picture. So He asked why. But in that moment, what was important and what stood out, especially what needs to stand out for everyone, is that even though He asked, Father, why hast thou forsaken me, He was still trusting God. So He was saying, he was still trusting God, and not only trusting God, but remember, guys, we got to trust God and we got to do good. So you trust God. So even though you don't understand why, you trust God and you also do good. And whenever you're in uncertainty or just overall, when you trust God and do good, guys, it has side effects. And let me tell you. So this is like let's think of these two things as two prescriptions from God, then, yeah, from Dr. Jesus. So we say, all right, He gives you a bottle of trust God and a bottle of do good, and He says to you, these are like you unlimited refills. Every day you get up, you can come and you can get unlimited refills of the dose of trust God and dose of do good, but they have side effects. So when you trust God, you're gonna realize that you're not gonna be worrisome. You're gonna be content. You're not gonna go and have sleepless nights because you're gonna just put everything in God's hand. So you're not gonna go home and ponder about it and be down and dreary. You're gonna be like, you know what, God, I don't understand this, but I trust you. I trust your process. All right. So that's the side effects of trusting God. But the side effects of doing good, oh my gosh, God, you're gonna have immense happiness. You like in that moment when you don't understand and you do good, like you're gonna be so happy. You're gonna be like, oh, I did this, and you're gonna feel that deep, resounding joy that can only come from you doing good to help someone else. You're gonna have that. How many of us know what I'm on about? How many of us know how it feels to go out and just do something for somebody? You did not benefit from it, but you did something for someone, and you've seen how what you've done has uplifted that person's day, and you just feel this genuine, even though you got absolutely nothing from it, and you may even have lost some of your time or some of your money or something, but you realize that that person has gotten such immense joy from it, and you just feel this satisfaction that you can't explain really, but you can't get from anywhere else. So it's doing those. And let me tell you, the devil does not like when he hates it. Actually, he hates so much when he's trying everything he's doing to make you down and dreary, and then you turn around and be like, you know what, I'm gonna trust God and I'm gonna do good. So even though he died last night, or even though that friend don't like me, if that friend needs me, I mean, well, not friend again, if that person who who did you bad, if they need something, you're gonna say, I will help you, right? And no one will understand that, and no one will say, why are you helping this person? Like, they will say, why are you helping this person who this did you wrong? But you're saying, God, I'm gonna trust you, and I'm gonna do good to my enemies, to everybody, right? Help me to forgive those so that you can forgive me. We say that prayer every day, innit? Forgive, help, I'll forgive so that you can forgive me. How much of us can say, suppose God was only supposed to forgive us the way we forgive others? Listen, wow. If God only forgive me, if he only forgave me as much as I forgave others, I want us all to ask ourselves that question. Like, if God was only to forgive me as much as I forgave others, how much would that be? Or if I went to bed and said to God, you know what, God, thank you for everything, and how much, and we were on, if we went to bed and we woke up the next day with only what we thanked God for the night before, what would we have? Do you get me? But going back now to my thing. That's just a sidetrack, but it's still a valid question that we need to ask ourselves. But going back now to the thing where Jesus was on the cross and he was saying, Father, why hast thou forsaken me? Even though he was unsure, he was still trusting God, and he was still doing good. And he did good even in his pain. Like, we need to take a moment and appreciate the pain that Jesus was going through on that cross. Like, I want you to understand, if you've ever watched The Passion of Christ, or just read about the story, or even heard people describe it, it is one of the most disturbing stories of all times. Like, if we put everyone that's watching this right now, and everyone that our pain and suffering and our heartbreaks and stuff together, it still would not become half of what Jesus went through for us. And imagine that unbearable pain that God had to send his only son to put him in human form, and he was going through so much. And in that moment, he still found time to do good. Remember, he had two thieves on either side, and one of them was saying, if you're the son of God, why don't you take yourself down or whatever. And the other one said, no, this man deserves, he doesn't deserve this. We deserve this because we're crooks, right? But this guy does not deserve this. And Jesus turned to him and said, surely this day you shall be with me in paradise. Or I'm not quoting it exact, but he said, he went along the lines of, yeah, you're gonna be with me in heaven and stuff. He found time to do that. And then he also found time to ensure that his mom was going to be okay, because he told one of his disciples to make sure that he take care of my mom. And even then, even the very people that were doing bad to him, he turned to God and said, Father, please forgive them, for they know not what they do. Guys, how many of us could actually look at ourselves and say, when I'm in my moments of doubt, when I'm in my moments of shaking up, when I'm in my moments of pain and hurt and anger, I'm going to say to God, I'm going to do good. I'm going to take a dose of do good. I cannot say with a clear heart that in my moments of anger and hurt and pain, I'm going to turn around and do good. In my moment of pain, I'm focusing on me. I'm going to find all the reasons why this happened to me and stuff. I'm going to try to understand. I'm going to ask him, God, why? And you know what? It's not the question why that offends God. Because it's okay. Like, he knew that we were born and shaped in iniquity, like born in sin and shaped in iniquity. So he knows that we would sin and we would fall short of his glory, and so that's why he makes his glory fresh for us new every day, right? His mercy and grace for us is renewed every day. But it's like if you ask why, you still need to trust him, and that's what's important. Like sometimes, yes, we all want to know why did this happen, or why it happened. But if we had the understanding that God is a supreme being, and you cannot always understand God, because imagine if we knew every single thing and we understand every single thing, we wouldn't need a God, would we? We would already know that this is gonna happen. We would not need it. For you to have faith, guys, when you say have faith, for us to have faith is only because there's something that's beyond our control that we do not know. That's why we have in faith. We put in our trust in a supreme power to take over and have faith and work it out in our favor. And that's why we have faith. All right. So it's about doing good, but trusting in God. So when we're confused and you come from a situation that you don't understand, you're gonna be like, you know what, God, I don't understand it, but I'm gonna trust you. I'm gonna try to trust you. And it's hard. It's gonna be hard, especially in that situation. It's not the easiest thing, but it's for us to make an effort to say, you know what, I'm gonna try to trust you. And when God sees you making that effort, you know what, He might even reveal a certain situation to you earlier than expected. He sees you doing something, and He sees that you're making an exerted effort to actually understand. He might say, let me bless you, let me explain to you. And He might reveal something that you didn't know in the past. He might reveal it now to you. Right? So do good and trust God. So Luke 18 verse 8 says, when God was talking to one of His disciples, he said, will I find faith on earth when I come back? A childlike faith. You don't understand, but you trust God. And we often hear about this childlike faith. And what does it mean to have a childlike faith? Imagine a baby and a mom and a mother, right? Or a dad, whatever. Imagine just that baby and having, like, that baby doesn't worry about anything. He knows that he's gonna get up and he's gonna be fed. He knows that he's gonna get up, and if he's gonna be cleaned, he's gonna be clothed, he's gonna be fed. He knows that when his mom has him in his arms, you don't see a baby worrying if he's gonna fall. They have the utmost faith in that moment that their mom's gonna hold them. So that's what the faith that God is saying to us. Have that faith that, you know what, I might not know why you're doing this, but you're doing it for the best for me. I might not know why why this happened in my life, but I'm gonna trust and believe that it happened for a reason, right? And of course we know that God, of course, like even God, as I was saying, we're human, but even God in His like human form, when Jesus came down, He asked why. He still was uncertain, but He trusted God and He did good. So remember, it's trust God and do good. All right. All right. So, and I was saying, you know, in the spiritual life, right? When we're talking about the shaking up of our lives, when we say shake up, the Bible speaks about having that unshaken foundation, right, in Jesus and stuff. So when I say we should ask God for a shaking up, we should ask God to shake up our lives. And when we ask God, we need to take a second before we ask God to shake up our lives. When we say shake up our lives, I mean remove everything that's shaken, remove everything that's iffy about our lives, so that we can please Him. Because if we want to have that solid foundation, not that Sunday stuff, that solid foundation, we need to make sure that our foundation is set, is solid. It's not supposed to be shaken. So when we ask God to shake up our lives, we're asking Him to remove everything that's shaking our life, everything that is uncertain, everything that is not giving us solid foundation, for Him to use us, for Him to let us have that unbridled faith in Him, that childlike faith in Him. So before we ask God to shake up our lives, we need to, how many of us could actually say that we can pray to God wholeheartedly and say, God, I want you to shake up my life? Because it's a serious prayer, you know. If you ask God to shake up your life, and it should be something that we all yearn, but it is going to be very hard for us. We're going to have serious, if we ask God to shake up our life, it's going to be serious effects of that, because He's going to remove people that you thought were solid for you. He's going to remove friends, family. He's going to remove them from your life. He's going to do things that you're just going to be like, God, what am I supposed to do now? He's going to do things that you're just going to be like, I don't know. But you know what? Everything, so in that moment, what God is doing is preparing you to give birth to something greater, right? And remember, birth is a painful process. Have you ever watched, well, if you're a mother and you're watching this, you'll know that it's not the easiest process. You know that, because it is compared to coming face to face with death. That's what I've heard people refer to giving birth as. People get stretch marks, you feel pains, but it's like you're opening up yourself to give birth to a whole new thing. So it's that shaking up that's gonna be a moment of giving birth, and that's gonna be very painful. You're gonna have spiritual stretch marks, guys. So it's not the physical things. You're gonna have spiritual stretch marks for God. You're gonna be going through pain that is just unreal. But you know what? It's gonna work out for your good. Like in that moment, as I said, because we're seeing not the full picture. We're gonna in that moment we're not gonna understand. We're gonna be confused. But God is using us to give birth to something greater, right? And it's when you have that unburdened faith, when you have that childlike faith in God, that you're gonna realize that, you know what, I want to thank you, God, for this. All right, even though this happened, I want to thank you, God, for it. So you're gonna be given. We should all be given births to different spiritual births and stuff, to different things, so that God can definitely use us. All right. And listen, no matter what your problem is, right? Your answer should always be taking a dose of trust God and a dose of doing good. Those side effects, guys, that comes with it is what you need in your life: peace, contentment, inner happiness, right? Um, and remember that refills are endless. All right, and when you take a dose of trust, then of course you're gonna be peaceful, you're gonna be happy and stuff. And a dose of good, immense happiness. You're blessed people, and you're sowing seeds that will reflect in your life as well. All right, especially when you're down, and that's what Satan hates to see. When you're down, you're helping other people. So when God offers us the chance to have faith in Him, we should prove to God that we can have faith in Him. And because when he does that, He opens doors for us, right? So remember, if we knew everything, we would not need to trust God. There needs to be some uncertainty for us to have faith, right? Because the Bible says faith is the evidence of things not seen and the hope of things wished for. I might have said that the wrong way, but basically, yeah. I should have looked that up. I might have put that wrong. But having faith is depending on something that you cannot prove, right? You cannot. If I had faith, that would mean that there's something that's beyond my control, beyond what I know is gonna happen, right? And I have faith on God for doing that. So yeah, if we trust God and we do good, then He will open doors for us to receive more blessings and more miracles. All right. So today I want to just encourage somebody, anyone who's listening today, that you don't need to know everything. And people always try to understand God, and people always try to understand why this happened and stuff. There are many things in my life that I don't even understand, and this is not even about God. I cannot understand how a phone works, right? And when I say a phone works, like I can send a message to someone in China, and a second later they send it back. Like I know it sounds simple, but if you were to ask me how, and like to break that down in details and tell you why this, yeah, I know it's the internet and I know whatever, but I still don't even understand the concept of the internet. Like it's, but I still use it, and I still don't even question it. I'm like, you know what, whatever, go ahead. I don't understand. Like if you ask me to explain how an airplane stays in the sky, mate, I am blown. And I know some brilliant people would be able to say, oh yeah, it's this and that and that and that. I don't fully understand it, right? But I still trust it. I still go on the airplane and I still sit there and I'm not worrying, oh my gosh, am I gonna fall? Oh, I still trust the airplane that it's gonna take me to A and B. I don't understand how, I mean, I don't understand gravity, but I'm surely enjoying it. I'm sure knowing that I'm not floating off. I don't understand why this force is at. There are a lot of things that I don't understand, right? So I don't understand why people are trying to understand God. Like, guys, to me, like, God is so, I don't even know how to explain it to you guys. When I say that, I would not try to understand. That's like, say for example, when I see people trying to understand God, right? I think of people as the things He created. So some creations trying to understand their creator and telling their creator what to do. Imagine a Barbie doll saying to the person who made it, I don't understand you, why you made it? Like, what, I need to understand you. Like, why would I need to? I cannot understand God because He is such a powerful, like, guys, when the Bible says He's able to do above and beyond everything that I could ever imagine, guys, I imagine some stuff, some awesome stuff. And if God is able to do above and beyond what I could ever imagine, that's a powerful God. So I have no chance of understanding that. My human brain can't even understand that. Like, there's so many mysteries to us humans. Up to now, we can't give life. We can't even say. I mean, we could do artificial insemination, all sorts of stuff, but we cannot, by our own self, develop a whole human being. So why are we surprised then that we cannot understand the person who made this and created all this beautifulness, this earth, the galaxies, everything in it? You try to understand a supernatural God. There's no way we can understand God, guys. Like when people say they need to understand Him and they have some issues because they don't understand, I'm thinking, mate, you're trying to dumb God down into your humanness, into something so small that our human mind can understand it. Our human mind works off logic, so we need to see this going to the next stage. But God does not work off our logics. You get me? God is not a God that works off human logics. I mean, He wouldn't even be God if He worked off human logics, because we don't even understand how Earth is just spinning around in space. So what's holding it there? What would our logical mind say? Me, if I was making something made, I would need to have a string attached to something that's having something going around. I could not say to just be and it's be. I could not hold this pen right now, yeah, and say, okay, stay, mate, it's gonna fall. But God can do that, and my mind can't wrap that. I know it seems so small, but even that I'm unable to do. Yeah, I'm trying to understand a God who is making me breathe off my, like, I'm breathing without even me saying, oh, taking an exerted effort to breathe. A God who protects me, and not only me, but He's here with me, and He's here with my family, and He's here with every single one of us. May we cannot understand God. So there are some situations that God knows before that we will not understand, and He sees the full picture, and we go through some things to give birth to things, to give birth to miracles, to give birth to some spiritual gifts. So we go through things and we get face hardship because God knows what He is doing. All right. So I mean, yes, it's good to try to put a reason behind everything, and it's good to understand what God's saying or whatever, but we won't always get the full picture, because God is just God. That's what He is. That's what He is. He was and He will forever be. He is God. And if He's omnipotent, then that means He's unlimited. And we who are limited by time, we are limited by so many things. We're trying to understand this timeless God. Do you know how many knowledge you can acquire if you've been here since forever and you will be forever? There's nothing that you cannot do, and there's nothing that you don't understand. We don't know that yet because we're still limited by time. So we're trying to put this infinite God in our finite minds. It's not possible. I know some people say we just use that that's our laziness speaking, but that's logic's fun. And as I say, we work off logics anyway. I hope you guys understood this. I hope you guys needed to hear it. And if there's someone else that needs to hear this today, just spread the word and let them know that, you know, there are moments that you're gonna go through that you don't understand, right? And it's in those moments that if you say to yourself, God, I don't understand what is happening, but I need you. I'm gonna trust you, and I'm gonna do good while I'm at it. So yes, an earthquake might just have happened in my life, but you know what? I don't understand what happened. I don't understand why this happened. But if there's somebody else that I can share my piece of bread that I got, a loaf of bread with, I'm gonna share. It takes faith like that, guys, in that moment. And it's harder said than, I mean, it's easier said than done, but it's that faith. So whenever you don't understand, guys, just trust God and leave it to Him, and just understand that God is, He already knows. He's not surprised by anything. He knew us before. He said, before you were born, I knew you. That's the God I serve, guys. I don't know about you, but if somebody came to me and said, listen, before I met you, I knew you. Excuse? But before I was born, I knew he knew me. He knew what my life choice was gonna be. He wants me to go in a certain way, and He loves me. That He would send His only Son to go through all that pain just so that I would be free. There's nothing that my God wouldn't do for me. And it's that faith that I have in Him. And I realize that even though I want so much to understand everything that's happening in my life, I know now that I will not be able to understand every single thing. And that's just the way it is. Because now I know in part, I prophesy in part, but only when God comes and we're transformed from mortality to immortality, then I will understand the better picture. I still won't be able to understand every single thing, but I would know why it happened. So every setback, guys, is a setup for a comeback, all right? So every setback is a setup for a comeback. When in confusion, trust God and do good. I hope you enjoyed our chat today. Do share this. I'm not even sharing this as a subscription. Share this to somebody who you know needs to hear this message, guys. And we need to trust in God. I will leave with you some of the scriptures I used today. So 1 Corinthians 13, 9 to 10 and 12 to 13. And then it was John 11, 40, verse 40. And then Luke 18, verse 8. All right. And there are many other scriptures in the Bible that will definitely tell you about faith and stuff like that. But yep. Hope you enjoy it and read the Bible, study, have faith, live good, love God, and just do good. Have faith. Bye bye.